There was this singer guy I recognized, and I was working his table and cleaning it up and asking people at his table if they needed anything. I guess my presence annoyed him while I was doing my job. So what he would do is make a mess on the table and then snap at me and tell me to come over and clean it up. Don't ever snap at somebody.
I need to know who this is. What an asshole.
I'd walk away. He'd pour something on the table. Snap.
And if anybody snaps or whistles at me, I ignore them. Just as a rule of thumb.
The last time I went over to the table, as I was cleaning it up, I felt wetness on the back of my head. He had taken the cranberry juice and was pouring it on the back of my head like I was in a music video. I pop up, grab the bottle, and pin his head between the bottle and the wall and explain if he does that again, he was not going to have a singing career. I almost got fired. 100% worth it.
Just as a server, not even a server to celebrities, just a server to regular old Joes every freaking weekend of my life. When people you can tell when people are clearly irritated that you're there, I will never understand that. I'm you know you need me as your server, right? You don't get stuff without me. I have to be here. So either do you want really bad service and not to get anything, or do you want to just put your attitude away? Probably have said my name to you at some point in the evening, but even a wave, I will respond to a wave, but a snap or a whistle, not a chance, not me, couldn't be seen, never to be seen again.
Okay, this is kind of random, but when I was 19, Kiefer Sutherland punched me in the throat. You're like, he did not do that. Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh.
I was standing outside Soho House having a cigarette, and I'm standing with the band Muse. Anyway, we're smoking. Kiefer Sutherland comes from around the corner, seemingly out of an alleyway, honestly. He's not wearing a jacket. Freezing, so he's shivering and wasted.
What the hell?
And I don't know how he started talking to us, but he was hostile from the jump, and he was shivering so hard. So then I said, "Do you have a jacket?" And he looked at me and he went, "You are trouble. I see it in your fucking eyes." And then he took the back of his hand and went like this.
That's so funny.
So I guess he didn't punch me in the throat. I don't know what he did. He just kind of slapped me in the throat. And then he cackled like the Joker. And went inside. I don't know if it was rude. Maybe that's not rude. Maybe that's just what a drunk guy.
I selfishly really hope that that's a true story, because that's so random and so bizarre. He forgot heated about the jacket comment. You're trouble.
You're trouble.
I'm gonna start saying that to people. You're trouble.
I can see it in your eyes.
Jennifer Lopez. It was 4th of July of 2001 or 2002, if I'm not mistaken, because I was 11 or 12 years old at the time. Middle of the day, we were cruising around South Beach. We're at a stoplight. I look right next to me, literally 3 feet away from me, and there's this black SUV with their windows rolled down. And when I look to the person and they look at me, it was Jennifer Lopez. The light turns green, they go off.
I don't know her, obviously. Not necessarily the most surprising thing I've ever heard. I feel like I've heard rumblings of J-Lo maybe being kind of cold.
I was in such disbelief that I told my mom, speed up so I can say hi properly. Like any 12, 11-year-old at the time, right? If they see a superstar. She was wearing a light purple shirt with big hoops and a ponytail. Her window in my face.
I was waiting for it. Okay, at the beginning, when she said, she's like Jennifer Lopez, and then she was like 2000, I was like, how? I'm like, what the hell? And then she said that she was like 11 or 12 at the time. I was like, that makes a lot more sense, because I was like, you look young. Also, that's crazy to be shaded that hard by J-Lo. Listen, celebrities being rude, probably so like exhausted from interacting with people all the time. Sometimes you maybe don't even know what's going on because people are always just trying to get your attention. So I always will cut celebrities slack, but I've heard some things, I think.
Spill the tea, sweetheart.
2012 or 13, Jared Leto was in Nashville performing with 30 Seconds to Mars, and I guess he went out afterward. And so this friend of mine was on the porch at this bar, and she and her boyfriend were there, and I guess like they were kind of drunk, like they were kissing or whatever, and they overhear him, Jared, on the phone with somebody being like, yeah, I'm sick of this country out.
But like, listen, are we surprised? Are we surprised? That sounds like something Jared Leto would do. I'm just personally
like, I hate this town. I'm watching these two fat necks make out right now. And so she comes over to him and she's like, excuse me, what did you say? And he just kind of goes like, and like waves her off like, you know, he's too important to address her. So
that's really funny and also really rude of him.
She grabbed him by the ponytail and started wailing on his face. And he called the cops and she got arrested, but then he didn't show up to the court date, so the charges got dropped.
That is a freaking wild story. Oh my god. Morbius? Apparently, he made them like wheel him around on the set or something. He calls it method acting. That's not method acting. That's not that. You don't have to be a just to be a method actor. You know, the two things aren't synonymous with each other. Freaking Jared Leto, man. So weird. Sorry, I was just like getting lost in the sauce of just how weird Jared Leto is.
So when I was 5 or 6 years old, I decided that I wanted to start taking figure skating lessons.
Okay.
And the rink that I was taking the lessons at was Nancy Kerrigan's home rink.
Oh.
And I missed one of the days, and that day happened to be when she signed everyone in the class's skates. The next day, or the next time I went, she was in the Zamboni guy's office, just like sitting on his desk talking. So I go up, and I knock on the door, and I'm holding my skates in my hand, and I asked her, I said, can you please sign my skates? She slams the door in my face and then continues to talk to the Zamboni guy. So my mom's pissed. I quit figure skating. And, like, honestly, Nancy, I don't even feel bad that your legs got broken because you're miserable.
Oh my god, that's the end there. So savage. Sometimes we can't forgive and we cannot forget. Sometimes I will hold a grudge over figure skates. No problem. That's crazy. I mean, first of all, is nobody gonna talk about like she's just shooting the shit hanging out with the Zamboni guy? What the hell? How do I get the job of the Zamboni guy? You get to drive the Zamboni and you get to hang out with Nancy Kerrigan? Well, apparently you don't want to hang out with Nancy Kerrigan because she's not nice, clearly.
So he made a movie and he's doing a tour with obscenely overpriced tickets because there's a Q&A afterwards. So for this Q&A section, I line up to ask him a question. I'm midway through and there's like 25 people in line. He answered 4 questions, not even the questions themselves. He just went on these stupid tangents that nobody cared to ask about.
Ooh-wee!
He talked for over half an hour about how his daughter got a role in a Quentin Tarantino movie and that she was handpicked. I saw the movie, she was extra.
That's so awkward.
Because of these obscenely long tangents, people just started leaving the lineup and I was up next to ask a question. He looked over in my direction and said, "Okay, have a good night, everybody." Thanks a lot, Kevin Smith.
Dang, he got called out at the end there. That's just like awkward. That's not even like, I don't even know if that's Karen-y. It's just awkward. Just weird, cringy behavior. Ew, that would suck so bad to wait in a line though, to get your question answered, just to be right at the front and then boom, no worries. No question for you today. I get going on tangents. Sometimes you gotta talk a little bit, you know?
So I used to work at a place that's similar to Santa's Workshop, and it was on Disneyland property, so we did get a handful of celebrities. This one though, had to have been the worst one, and it's because him and his husband were so rude to me.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like,
let's call him Shmuel. So at first I didn't know this was Shmuel's family because it was just the husband, the nanny, and the daughter. And you know, I was just doing my job, helping the daughter, asking the family questions. The husband was so rude, closed off.
Also, you're at Santa's Workshop kind of vibes. Aren't you supposed to be like jolly and happy and the holidays and stuff?
And he was very impatient with the disabled old lady in front of him. With celebs like that, I'm just like, okay, no more questions, let's just finish the job. Then in comes Shmuel, and of course my ass. And then he gets in my face. You better make sure my daughter's bear is perfect, because I'm not coming back. I thought, damn, not even a hello?
No, I'm gonna try and purposefully mess it up also. Duh, what do you think I'm here for? What do you think the goal is every time, Shmuel?
I own a food truck in Los Angeles and I serve a lot of celebrities on sets of like TVs and movies. I've met people like Brad Pitt, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. The one celebrity that was rude to me, it's barely even a celebrity. Who knows Flo from Aggressive? Flo, the insurance person with the makeup and the red lipstick.
Ew, Flo from Progressive? Okay, well, people are getting exposed today. No one is safe today. If Flo's getting exposed, what are we supposed to do? You know what I'm saying?
She was freaking rude. And she has an assistant that does all the talking for her. So the assistant walks up, she says, "Hi, what do you have available?" And I say to Flo, directly to her, I say, "Oh, we have XYZ, blah, blah, blah." I say it to Flo, Flo ignores me.
I hope that's not true. Why does Flo from Progressive have an assistant?
The assistant turns to me and says, "Flo would take an order of XYZ." I turn to Flo and I say, "Hey, here's an option. Do you want this or this or this?" Flo ignores me. The assistant turns to Flo and says, "Hey, Flo, would you like XYZ?" And then she answers her. She refused to talk to me because I was service.
There's kind of like part of me that's like, oh, she had this huge series of commercials, like she's probably set. Why do you need an assistant? Listen, she can have an assistant, but she should also maybe speak for herself. Maybe like she was sick and then she couldn't speak or something like that, like she'd lost her voice, but she was talking to the assistant, so clearly that's not the case. I have no idea. Wanted to give a good explanation, simply can't.
I have a personal story about this, but on a thread on Reddit, fans said that during a filming of a UK game show called A League of Their Own, James Corden threw multiple tantrums and screamed at anybody who asked to take a photo with him. When I went to a taping of The Late Late Show, he only acted like he cared about his audience when the cameras were rolling.
James Corden is not a liked man, I'll tell you that for sure.
And he yelled at us when he felt like we weren't clapping or laughing loud enough. Maybe you're just not funny.
The T at the end there. Dang. Okay, everyone hates James Corden. It's the move. I don't know if it's just trendy, if everyone has their reasons.
People allege that Avril Lavigne did not want to get anywhere near her fans after a slew of awkwardly distanced photos went viral. It looked like she wanted nothing to do with her fans, and Brazilian fans came out and said they paid $400 to take these awkward family photos. Avril did come out and say that she does love her fans and does get close to them, but just not in certain countries, mainly based on security breaches.
I guess that makes sense. Like, obviously your security is the most important thing, but at the same time, like, why would you have these like meet and greet, like photo op things that you're selling then if you know you're not gonna get close to them? Kind of shady to do that by country, just in general. Guys, that's it. That's all the clips we have for today. Hope you had a fun time. I sure did. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I will see you all again very soon, I'm sure. Bye.